Hey, today I'm going to be talking about the humid subtropical climate. Humid subtropical climates are found where the temperature is warm but not hot. There is at least a significant decrease in temperature in the winter, and it can range from mild to cool and even cold, with sometimes snow. But the summers can range from warm to very hot. Precipitation is usually medium to high in the subtropical climate, and it is mostly dominated by medium to large trees, with shrubs, grasses, moss, and other small plants all over the ground. This is a map of the humid subtropical zone around the world. Now, the humid subtropical monsoons, depending on who you ask, might not be considered humid subtropical, but depending on who you ask, they would be considered humid subtropical along with the traditionally humid subtropical and some of the subtropical Mediterranean zones would also be considered humid subtropical. But they have to be wet enough. This map, I think, better shows the distribution of humid subtropical climates. It's the second lightest green. As you can tell, there's a big patch in eastern North America, well, southeastern North America. There's patches in tropical mountain ranges, that's called subtropical highland. There's a little bit in southern Europe, and there's some in East Asia. Now, I'm going to talk about my climate system a little bit. So, I was researching a bit about the redwoods, and I was like, how much rainfall does the redwood forest get? And it gets a load of rainfall. Now, I was like, this must be a rainforest, so I plugged it into my climate classification, and I found out that it's actually not a rainforest. It's Mediterranean, which might make you think, oh, there's a problem with the climate classification system. But you also have to remind yourself that there's an entire, there's a really big section of the Pacific Northwest that's considered a oceanic Mediterranean climate, but it also has absolutely enormous trees. Now, what makes these trees so big is a combination of fog, nutrients, and high rainfall. But it isn't considered a rainforest for a simple reason: dry season. There's a pronounced dry season in all of the redwoods' habitats. In fact, they are adapted very well to fire. So, there's the thing. Humid subtropical climates are generally found at 25 to 35 degrees north and south, in places with plenty of winds blowing in from relatively large, relatively warm oceans. Cold currents will decrease the range to about 35 to 40 degrees north and south, and warm currents will increase this range to about 30 to 37 degrees north and south. In terms of how many animals there are in the subtropical climate, I can't name all of them, because pretty much any family that's big enough, you can find an example in the subtropical climate. You can find insects, you can find mammals, you can find reptiles, you can find amphibians, fish, birds, so like all of them. And here are the subtypes. There's a lot, but don't worry, nobody's pressuring you to memorize any of them. They're just here for you to see.